Alright, so this is a quick tutorial on how to use Google Drawings to create an atom sketch. I just played with this in the last few hours and found it didn't take me hours, I was messing around and figured it out, and I bet some people already have. So here's my palette, my drawing sketch, and you can see that it's gray and white checkerboard. That means it's transparent. So first thing I did was change the title to Atom Sketch, otherwise it's untitled and I might not be able to find it later. So second thing, I want to make a change in the background. So what I did was I right-clicked on my touchpad, and I'll make it, how about a lovely gray. I know it's kind of boring, but that way the background isn't distracting with a bright color. Okay, so the first thing I want is to choose an element, and I think I chose the third element, which is lithium, Li. So it's got an atomic number of 3, and what that means is if it's the third element, then it's got 3 protons in the nucleus, 3 electrons in the outer shells in the electron cloud, and in this case 3 neutrons in the nucleus with the protons. So I want to draw the shells. So I thought I would use shapes, and I would go with this guy down here, sort of a circle. And you see the crosshair, so when you start, I'm going to start out here so it can be not real small. Make him, it's not a him, but like about that. I'm going to move it so that it's kind of centered. Will that be big enough? I'm going to stretch it a little bit, so I'm going to grab the corner and go out a little bit. That should be good. So now I want to center it by getting those 2 red lines. There it is. Boom. That's good enough. Now click off of it, but it's got a blue center. I don't want a blue center. How about a white center? So I'm going to go up to fill. I'm going to change it to white. Good. Now it's easy to see. I'm also going to change this border because this is one of my shells. I'm going to change this, or maybe I should make it transparent. I'm going to make it transparent. So I'm going to change that. Let's see, what is that? That's fill color. So I'm going to go up to the fill, the bucket. I'm going to click transparent. Because now I'm just going to have the ring itself, the shell itself, the valence itself, okay? But I want it to be able to be seen, so this looks kind of thin. I'm going to keep the color as black, but I'm going to make my thickness a little thicker, maybe like 4 pixels. How does that look? That looks pretty good. Okay, now I want to have an inner shell, and the reason is this element, lithium, has 3 electrons. Well, I can only put 2 electrons on the first shell at the most, so I have to put 1 more out there. So I'm going to, instead of recreating that, I'm just going to click on the first shell I have, the first shape, and because I want to use it again, I just want to resize it. So I'm going to click Control or Command D. So I duplicated it, but I want to make this one smaller because it's going to be on the inner. See how that looks if I center it. I'll make it a little smaller just to give myself some room. That'll be good. Get that centered as good as I can. Good. So there they are. There's the first shell here and the outer shell here. So now, and you can see these guys over here, but I want to show you how I made them. What I can do is the same thing I did here. I go up and I do shape, and I want to use that circular shape down here, but I want to make it about, gosh, I guess that big? That big, I guess? Okay, good. Now, a couple things I want to do. I want to make that border line a little thicker, so I'll go to maybe 3. And then I want the fill color to be specific. So this is how I did the protons, which are positive. So fill, and I used green. Good. And now I want to put a plus sign in there. Well, if I just clicked and did the plus sign on the keyboard, it's kind of small. I mean, I could use it, but it's kind of small. So what I did was I went up to Insert Special Characters right here, And what you can do is you can search for it, or you can just draw it over here. So I'm going to do a plus sign, kind of sloppy-ish, but it'll look and it'll say, oh, you mean one of these? And I like this one, nice and thick. So I'm going to click it once, get rid of that. So I'd put it in there. I'm going to back up. Oops, darn it. Okay. That's all right. So insert, special character, plus sign. Get rid of that. And there it is. That's good enough. So I think I will move it over a little bit to make it centered. Good. So there's my proton. Well, that's pretty good. Well, there's 3. So I'm going to highlight my proton that I've created with the fill color, the border, thickness, and the plus sign for positive at proton. And I'm going to make 2 more copies. So I'm going to do Command or Control D, 1, 2. Now I'm going to move it around a little bit. I'm going to space them out. Whoops. I'm going to space them out. Come on. Because now I need to make, that looks good for now. Now I need to make the neutrons. So I'm going to grab one of these. I'm going to duplicate it. Control D. I'm going to bring it over here, separate it. Now I'm going to change a couple things. One, I'm going to get rid of the plus sign because a neutron is neutral. It has no charge. Another thing is I want to change the color and the fill color, and I think I went with sort of a gold. Maybe this guy. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. So, and actually, you know what I could do in there? I could put N for neutral. Or I could have put 0, but that might be confusing. So I'll put N for neutral. That makes sense to me. So now I have what I want. So I want to duplicate it twice more. Control or Command D. And now I'm going to arrange my nucleus. Doesn't have to be perfect, just so they're kind of together. I'm going to alternate them. Whoops. Yeah, you got to move with me though. Okay, a little cluster. Put this guy over here and bring this guy in. Now, so there's, make it a little more tighter in here. That's good. That's good enough. Oh, I'm being too picky now, aren't I? Down here. And then I'm going to bring him over here. Whoops. Good enough. Quit messing. All right. I want to be able to move this as a group because it's kind of off. So what you do is click on one and then hold down the Shift key and click on the other ones. Okay. And now I'm going to go up to Arrange and click Group because I want to group them. Now I should be able to move them. No, I don't want to be there. I want to be here as a group. See, that's nice, isn't it? Otherwise, you got to move all 5 and rearrange them constantly. Okay, that seems to be in the center. All right, I'm looking good. Now I just have to add my electrons, and there's 3. I'm going to put 2 on the first shell and then 1 on the outer shell. Okay, so I'll use one of these as an example. See if I can do this. Try to duplicate it. I did. Good. I'm going to grab it and bring it out so that my nucleus is intact. And now I'm going to put it on somewhere like up here. But now I have to change a couple things. One, it's not neutral, so I get rid of the N. Now I want to put a symbol in there. So insert special character. Now I'm going to draw a subtraction symbol. And there's a nice one. Click it. Good. So now let's see if I can I go back up? Yeah. Oh, that worked. I just backspaced. Now I want to change the color. I want to make it very different. So how about a blue? Great. Okay, there's one of my electrons, but I need 2 more. So I'm just going to duplicate it again. Control D, 1, 2. And I'll put another one like here. And then the last one goes on the outer shell. I don't think it matters where. There. Okay, there is my atom. It is a lithium atom. I've got atomic number 3, so I've got 3 protons, 3 neutrons in the nucleus, and 1, 2, 3 electrons on the shells. 2 on the first shell, and then more on the outer shell. So, not that bad. that bad. Okay, that's just a little sample on how to do this, and hope it helps. Bye-bye.